Hey, we are live. Hey guys, how are you? Please say hi to our audience. We are trying to connect at least once a week with the expat community in Panama. This is the Expat Community Podcast. I'm new to this. Like, I don't know how am I going to be doing this, but I think it's important to share insightful information to meet with other expats who are doing the same thing, who are moving abroad and who are they're learning so many things. And today we have a really interesting topic, and it happens to me, and I know this is true for many of you. The Panama driving madness. I just wanted to give it a wild, title to this with this, and she's like an expert dealing with a lot of these issues. Stephanie Morales from PA Expat Services. She serviced the expat community, helping with insurance, with automobile, everything related to the automobile thing you might need, or transportation, meaning you need a driver license, how to get the new driving or Panamanian driver license, your insurance. You have issues on the road. You may not know how to communicate something, and then you contact her, and she is always happy to help. Stephanie, say hi, and please introduce your customer, your friend who is here to talk about this topic.
Hello, Pablo. Okay, yes, perfect. I'm so happy to be here again. And this time, I'm so excited to introduce my dear friend David Rimple. Maybe a lot of you know him in Facebook. Hi, David. Thank you for being here. So, David is too special for me because he's the first person who I meet. I remember, I didn't know nothing about English. Do you remember, David, when you always got correcting me over the phone?
Yeah.
Was using Google Translator, and he had a situation. He will talk. He will tell us about that more later. But he is the person who made this review about me, and that's how I'm being introduced into expat community. So, David.
Hi. Thank you for having me here. So yes, in addition to, if I'm not mistaken, in addition to the various car insurance and everything else, you also represent full line insurance, don't you? Everything from like boats to health and everything else?
Yes, correct. Home insurance, content, cars, health, life, but all my main focus is in car. During my experience in the police, handling a fleet for the border
Right.
income.
Right. I remember that. Okay. So briefly, Steffi and I first met when I had been in Panama for probably a year and a half, I guess. And I had a car accident, and I had been insured through a different broker. And with the car accident, the police came and they towed the car away and whatnot. And then I heard nothing. And literally months went by, and I contacted my broker, and she said, well, not my problem. I'm just the salesperson. You need to contact the insurance company. So I contact the insurance company, and they say, we don't know anything about it. You need to go talk to the body shop. The body shop says, not our problem. Talk to the insurance company. So it's just this runaround. It was literally 3 months in, and I had been told nothing about the status or condition of my vehicle. So for 3 months, I had no car and no information. Definitely not what I was used to from coming from the US. So that, and when I talked to my broker about it, she said, oh, well, this isn't the US anymore. Yeah, apparently not, because apparently you at least know nothing about customer service, right? And so largely she just washed her hands of the problem. So I made a post on Facebook in one of the expat groups, and I can't even for the life of me remember which one, asking if anybody had any suggestions or could offer any advice or anything else. And this little voice comes out of the background somewhere, this little girl named Steffi, and says, oh, hey, I have some experience with this. I actually sell insurance, and I worked with, if I recall correctly, you said it was like the border police or something, right? You actually handled all of their claims. Was that correct?
Yes, correct. The fleet, yes.
Okay, yeah. So huge amounts of experience in dealing with insurance. Not just, hey, I sell it and then I walk away, like the woman who sold it to me did. You actually interact with the insurance companies. So I talked to Steffi, and basically she volunteered to help me with my situation. Just like said, hey, yeah, I'll give you a hand, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. One thing leads to another, and in 3 days, she had gotten me further in the claim than anyone else had in 3 months. So it was just amazing. It took, if I recall correctly, it took us about another 2 weeks or so to actually finish the whole thing.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Because
Yeah.
you were keeping the car.
What's that?
Because
3
you
weeks,
were
right?
keeping the car.
Yes. So it took her 3 days to get me full information about what was happening. And then within another 2 weeks after that, we had completely settled the claim. I kept the car. They gave me a payout for the damages. I had the vehicle back.
Nice.
And I'm not going to say I was ecstatic,
Nice.
but I was definitely happy with the end result that I got from the insurance company. It's like I can't complain about that. And apparently, Steffi, correct me if I'm wrong, but up until that time, you had just been basically an insurance salesperson, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And so once that was done, I went ahead and posted about the entire ordeal on one of the Facebook groups, one of the expat groups. And it wasn't so much that I was selling Steffi, because I wasn't. I was simply giving credit where it was due. She was fantastic. She spent hours of her time working on a case that wasn't even hers. I wasn't her client. She had volunteered to help me simply because she couldn't stand to see what I was going through. And, well, as far as I'm concerned, that deserves a whole lot of credit and a whole lot of crowing about. So I did. And I recommended to everyone I met that you need to get in touch with Steffi, because unlike everyone else, she's actually going to follow up on the claim. She's actually going to take care of you as her client. She earns her commission by being there no matter what happens.
Well,
I guess the rest is kind of history.
Yeah.
Let me just add, I just want to add something to it that I just feel like, how do you say this? When you got your air like this, you see this chill thing. Imagine.
Oh, yes, you have chills, yes.
Yeah, it's like, imagine if more Panamanians or more, people that offer services in Panama will be willing to do more.
Right. Man, I mean, I've got nothing bad to say about Panama. It's a whole different culture, a whole different country than the U.S. I get that. You're not in the U.S. anymore. I hear it all the time. You're not in the U.S. anymore. I get that. What I don't understand is, why do Panamanians put up with such poor service in their own country? That's the part I don't get. I mean, as a foreigner, I understand that I can't expect things to be like they were where I came from. What I don't get is why anyone, anywhere, puts up with such poor service. Mm-hmm. If everyone was doing what Steffi does, this country would be an economic powerhouse that would be the envy of the world. Yeah. I honestly believe that.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I service the expat community in a very different way, but I'm always, and this is how we met, Stephanie and I, we met online, kind of chatting about business. And I said to her, look at these groups, interact and help, just help. I have a business for a decade in Costa Rica, and every now and then I interact, look for an issue, go fix it. Don't charge anything, just because. But the mentality is different. I'm trying to build community versus just a paying customer. Paying customers are going to come later because they're going to feel the different energy or the different way of doing business. And I was talking to Stephanie about it, and then like a few weeks later, then this is what happened. Like she went, did it, help you. So it's like I'm kind of connected to this story, but like way earlier, kind of like,
right.
And then she did this, and then she got all super busy, and now I started to do business in Panama this year, like a little bit more like formal. Been doing business for many years, but now formally. And now I see how successful she is. I've been to her offices in El Dorado, right? El Dorado, Plaza Ventura, and I know how successful she is. So I'm super excited. Now, let's talk about this topic a little bit more, because we talk about Stephanie and what she did for you, but I want you to picture, Dave, the picture of how different is dealing with the driving system, process, transportation in Panama, because a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. I know they make mistakes thinking, oh, it must be the same, or maybe they're not conscious, they're in a different country and their consequences may be different. So I like to point some of these things, and I like to point the good, the bad, and also the ugly, because I think this gives people a different level of conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So, go ahead, Steffi.
okay, I want to say, before we continue, I want to say something. Plus the bad customer, I know we have here in Panama because we don't follow this case. It's similar to many other cases with foreign or expat having situation with insurance, because one is the type of car, part situation, no communications, because this happens. The delay was for a part situation, but the no communication with David was the main situation and the main problem with this no communication, because we know before that was a part, they didn't have the part here and long time, and that's why that David took the decision to keep the car, right? Because no way to be repaired. But
Correct.
that communication will be better between the company or him. He didn't need to wait for 3 months. Yeah.
Right. So to fill that in a nutshell, I drive a fairly rare car, and the insurance company was not able to get the parts they needed in Panama at all. They couldn't even get them from the US. We're probably going to have to actually get them imported from Japan. And the insurance company, not surprisingly, didn't want to deal with that. And they could have simply told me, hey, this is way out of our league. We don't want to deal with it. We'll just give you some money and you go away. And if they had said that, that would have been great. Instead, they said nothing, and they just hang on to my car indefinitely while not dealing with the problem. Now, I don't know what Steffi said to them, but whatever it is, it sure got them moving in a hurry. I mean, like in 3 days, they were like, oh, I guess we better deal with this, right? So I don't know what kind of tiger she turned into and threatened to eat people, but they got really scared really fast and dealt with me really quickly. And
Stephanie,
like I said,
Stephanie,
I wasn't ecstatic. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, I hit the lotto, but I was happy enough with the end result. I mean, she got me a very fair exchange for the car, a very fair payout, and none of that would have happened without her. Literally, I mean, it would be years down the line, and I still would have no idea what's happening.
Again, I got a question for Stephanie. Is that a trade secret? What you said to the insurance company, is that like nobody else needs to know?
No. It's not a top secret. But when we started to follow, because that's one of the madness here with the topic. When you have an accident, you need to make sure you know the process between here. Everything is a process. It's like a chain. You do this, you do this, you do this, and when you are coming to Panama, you didn't know that. It's similar to your home country, but that's not true, because here is a chain. For example, when you have what I need to do if I have an accident, yeah. So we have two different things to do. If you have a minor accident, you need to fill a document which you have in your car, or you can download in a website. You need to fill the document. You need to contact your agent, your broker, because you don't know about that form, right? So you contact the person who's helping you, who sells you the insurance. So you show contact, then she will tell you how is the damage? Is bigger? Is minor or something? So you need to do this. So she will help you, right? So after that, then we need to follow. If it's a bigger accident, we need to follow directly with your insurance company if you are the owner. Or if you are affected, we need to follow with another company. All this is the chains, it's the steps. If it's a minor accident, if you only have liability, you need to handle that by yourself. And also I help people to fix cars. So you need to handle this by yourself. Or if you have full coverage, you need to pay the deductible. That's another topic. You need to pay the deductible and repair your cars. For all is a change. And take in consideration if your car is like a luxury car or a car no common here, you need to import the parts. You need to wait. You need to get paid, get your own parts, pay that. So all is a change, So this is one of the big matters here in Panama driving. If I have an accident, what I need to do? if you are alone, if you don't know nothing, and plus most of the company don't have people speaking English speaker, right? So if I have an
Right.
accent, you what will happen? Like David, if his accident was bigger than another he had days or months before, and then he need to know, okay, if I have a very big accident, then I need to call the police. I need to go for a resolution, and then I need to my car need to take for the crane, tow crane to any place. I need to pay. So it's too many process in this chain, and for that reason, it's better to have some help. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
like to handle directly with insurance company, but if you have an extra help here, it's a plus.
And so to follow up on that specifically, and this goes out to all of my American, Canadian friends, and I don't know if this is true in places like South Africa. I don't know how their system works, but I know that in the US and Canada, if you have an accident, the insurance company has every incentive to work with you to get it fixed as quick as possible. Because every day that it's not fixed, it costs them more money. So they are happy to walk you through the process. I mean, if you don't speak English, they'll find someone to translate for you because they want to get you done and out of there. They want to get you paid and out the door, right? Here in Panama, it seems to be just the opposite. They have every incentive to not pay off and not actually interact with your claim and just hang on to it forever if they can. And then, as Steffi points out, since they have no incentive to speak to us in English, which, you know, we're in a foreign country, I don't blame them, but the point is, it still doesn't make it easier, right? Which, especially, imagine this, for my American Canadian friends, imagine if your accident included a bodily injury. Imagine if you had to go to the hospital. How messed up is that going to be if you don't speak enough Spanish, or if there's some, question about it or something like that, or if you don't have the right documents with you? If all of a sudden you can make one phone call to somebody like Steffi, and either she can come or send one of her people and literally talk those people through everything that needs to be done, that's a pretty powerful person to have in your corner. In fact, Steffi not only worked with that accident, but also helped with, after the accident was finished, helped get my car, what's it called? The plaque, the registration. She helped me get my registration changed from Cologne over to Volcan, because I live at the other end of the country. And so that was complicated, especially because since the car had already been in an accident, there was extra steps, which, again, in the US or Canada or something like that, wouldn't be a big deal. It's like, oh yeah, check this box, fill out this form, you're done, right? No, not in Panama. You need duplicate, triplicate, extra copies of your passport, even if you're already a resident. It's a nightmare of stuff. And she was able to work me through all of that. I already had a driver's license at the time, but she helped me get my driver's license renewed, because even that was problematic, because I was like 5 months overdue. I was actually out of the country at the time when it expired, and I didn't get back for several more months. And it's like, so it's way past due. She helped me get that handled as well. The really cool thing about Steffi, there's two really good important parts about this. One, she's a fighter. She will absolutely go to bat for whatever the problem is, and she'll make sure it gets fixed. Either personally or through her people, she will get it done. And that's saying a lot in this country, a lot. The other thing is, this is actually something she and I talked about early on. She offers a one-call does-it-all service. So no matter what your problem is, whether you need your brakes done, an oil change, you need to buy a car, you need insurance for your car, your boat, whatever it is, one phone call to Steffi, she will find a way to fix whatever the problem is. Either she'll do it herself or she'll find someone who can. And that is so incredibly valuable versus me, who doesn't speak Spanish. I mean, I got a little bit, but poquito y malo, right? It's a problem. Imagine me trying to chase around, making a whole bunch of different phone calls with my broken Spanish, using my translator. It would be a nightmare. I can call Steffi and say, hey, I have this problem. Can we fix this? And she says, we'll get on this, we'll get it done. How valuable is that? I mean, that's gold right there. That's gold.
So I'll say something else. And you as an expat, somebody from outside, people look at you as a tourist. They look at you as, you know, the money symbol. So you're calling somebody, you don't know who's this guy. You're calling somebody else, and you get all this, gringo prices or things like that. And I'm not saying Stephanie is cheap or expensive. I don't even know, the rates. But what I'm saying is whatever she charges is worth it because she fixes
exactly.
Not
exactly,
just
and especially
somebody,
I could not agree more. And the key part of that, again, is that it's one phone call. I call her, she does all the rest of the work. And simply the time savings is worth any amount that I would pay her. Just me not having to have that headache is worth any amount of money because I call her and it just magically gets fixed. Literally, that's gold. That's worth gold right there.
So as you guys can see, and for everyone that is going to be looking at this broadcast, YouTube, Facebook, it's also being broadcasting my LinkedIn. Dealing in another country as an expat is complex. You need to find those good players. I mean, in this case, we're talking about Panama, but it's the same thing. Costa Rica, Portugal, whatever country you are in, you're going to have to surround yourself of a group of service providers that are going to provide real value, not just, get your money for a transaction. This is what I'm so interested in building community. If we have community, we can all protect each other. If we have community, we could say, well, here's Stephanie, he's a good provider. He is. And we can all, and then if we see bad apples, we could say, well, no, that person is a bad apple, is damaging the community or damaging, you know what I mean? So I think doing communities, it's key for those who are the newcomers. It's a good idea. It's just a good idea. So happy to have you, Dave. So happy to have you, Stephanie. Our time is up. We're going to be doing a series on transportation. This is not just, one. We're going to be doing a series on, how to get the driver license or your American driver license to a Panamanian one. All of those things in the next weeks to come. So that's going to be very interesting. Once again, thank you so much and high five. This is when
do we have another 10 seconds?
Yeah,
can you give me 10 more seconds? Okay, so Steffi, since I don't even know what all services you offer, can you give me a quick rundown list of what all you offer?
Yes. Well, I do driver license. I will help with insurance. I will handle car paperwork. I take care about everything. And most of your needs doesn't matter where you are because that's what I do. That's my secret.
Right. Nationwide. Nationwide.
Yes.
And it's not just car insurance. You can do like car importation and all kinds of stuff if people want, right?
Pablo handled the parking lot shipping. I do all the registration.
Hopefully Stephanie don't do the transportation. She will get me out of business.
There we go. But you guys should be working together because she has contacts on the import side. You can bring the cars in. I would love to import a car. In fact, I'd like to bring a car in from the Philippines. But it's a specialty vehicle, not available in Panama. Okay, and so Steffi, how can folks reach you?
Okay, people can reach me for Facebook, for email, for WhatsApp, and I'm just working in my website as well.
Is it?
All right.
Yes.
You got
it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
You're a professional. I like it. You're a professional. You know exactly what you're doing. Right here on the screen. Just look here. It's like I like it. I like it. Well, thank you. Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It was a pleasure talking with you, and I was happy to share my story.
Amazing.
Thank you.
My next visit too is you're in Volcan. Is that all right?
I am.
We're having some coffee or a beer.
Definitely. Well, and there's a great little gelato place here in town. Great gelato. That's kind of an ice cream thing. Yeah. You bet.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Take care, you guys.
High five. We end with a high five to the camera.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.